Hello and welcome to another one of my vlogs. Thanks so much for joining us today and watching us once more as we talk about Jesus. I'm joined by Milo once again. Hopefully you can see him at the base of that rather impressive and gorgeous oak tree up there in front of us. Here he comes. I'm going to say hello. Yeah, you're going to sit then? Yeah, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Yeah. So this morning, today, I want to talk to you about that majestic oak. I'm not overly good in gauging how old trees are, but I know that it is very easy to get the age of an oak tree vastly wrong. Other varieties of trees, other species of trees, I'd be able to give you a pretty good guess, but oak trees not so easy. There's an oak tree here which is only about 4 meters high, and I reckon that's probably 20 years old, may even be a little bit more. There's another little tiny one up there that you might be able to see there, and then you've got the large one here. Certainly 100 years old, may even be 200 years old. I've been past this tree several times in the past few years, and each time I pass it, I take a picture. And then I put the pictures together to show how the oak tree and everything around it changes as the seasons of the years change, or seasons of the year change. So that's just something that I do. So I've got a special affinity for this particular tree, this particular oak tree. But I just wonder how many people have stood where I am standing, how many dogs have run past it, how many birds have sat in its branches, how many days of sunshine it has enjoyed, and how many days of snow or of wind and of sleet and of rain. And over in that direction is southwest, and here in this part of the United Kingdom is where the bulk of our wind comes from. That's the prevailing wind, and through the years that oak tree, from growing up from this height to be the majestic tree it is today, that will have received many lashings of wind coming across those fields on this sort of higher part of the surrounding countryside. And I'd say that along the way it has experienced many storms. Here in the east of England, in the United Kingdom, in 1987 we experienced a very severe storm. It was pretty much across the whole of the United Kingdom. Many people lost their lives, and many trees were blown down, and many homes were blown down. It was a very severe storm. I remember going out to work that morning, and a wall opposite us in the home, in front of our own home, had just blown straight over by the power of that wind. It was well over 100 miles an hour in certain parts of the country. A really strong storm. And I want to talk for a few moments to you about the storms in our lives that each of us will experience. There are days where it's pretty tranquil, like as I speak to you. There is little or no wind right now. You see even the grass is hardly moving at all around me. And it's a really still and calm day with the sunshine out. Although it's very cold, it's a really gorgeous day. And there's been many days in our life like that, where life has been calm and peaceful and still, and it's just been great. And there's been other days where maybe it's been a little bit more stormy, but we've been able to withstand it. But then there's been other days, like the storm of 1987, where our very life has been shaken to its foundation. And I would suspect that for most of us, if we're truly honest today, that the last 2 years since November 2019 our world has faced a storm collectively. It has impacted every nation of the world. And that storm has been COVID-19. And now we are 2 years on from the commencement of that storm that began thousands of miles away from the United Kingdom, and we weren't really sure how significant that storm would be of COVID-19 when we first began to hear reports of it there in China. And that storm has gone through the whole world. As I speak to you today in January 2022, over 150,000 lives have been lost because of COVID-19 in the United Kingdom. Now, that figure is similar across many European nations. In other larger population nations, then that is a much larger figure. And there have been so many people that have lost their lives because of this storm. And you know, you can't see COVID-19. Just a day after Christmas, I contracted COVID-19 myself. And I am so grateful, firstly, that I had received 2 vaccinations here in the UK, followed by a booster about 5 or 6 weeks ahead of me contracting COVID-19. And my symptoms have been rather like a mild flu, not pleasant, not overly nice, and I do have a bit of a legacy of a very dry cough and not much energy whatsoever. But it's a remarkable thing that something that you can't see, COVID-19, that's all around us, you can catch and you can actually experience. And I can't quite work out why there are some people in the world that kind of deny that it really exists, and they refuse to have vaccinations. That's your decision to take, and you're free to take that decision, but I don't actually understand why you take that position, because all around you, you might not be able to see the virus, but surely you can see its impact. And the lives that have been lost and the people who still are recovering from it, the hundreds of thousands of people, the millions of people all around the world that are recovering from it. And COVID-19, we can't actually see it in our hand, but boy, oh boy, can we see its impact. And I understand that there are people in the world today that say, well, I can't see God, therefore I don't believe in him. I can't see him, so therefore, how can I know that he exists? But I'll tell you this, I can tell you that although you might not be able to see him, because the Bible says God is a spirit, you can certainly see his impact. When God sent Jesus, his son, into the world, Jesus said many incredible things, but one of the things he said on more than one occasion was that if you want to know what God is like, look at me. If you want to know what the heart of the Father is like, then look at my heart. If you want to know what God's compassion is like, look at my life. If you want to know what God's mercy looks like, look at my life. If you want to know what God's truth, God's peace, God's purpose, God's joy, God's forgiveness looks like, then look at my life. Listen to me, hear my words, but not just hear my words. Watch my actions. See what I have come to deliver. So although today as you watch, you might doubt that there even is a God, I want to say to you, if you want to truly know who God is, then explore who Jesus is. So get yourself signed up to an Alpha course. Get yourself signed up to Christianity Explored or something like that, where you can go, take your questions, search it up on the web, and you'll find a place that will be running one of these courses locally to you, certainly in the United Kingdom. And take your questions and explore who this God is. You claim that you can't see him, but I want to say to you, you can know him and you can experience him. And I want to say to you today that in my life, I have seen the impact of God on the lives of thousands of people all around me. I have seen those that used to be involved in gangs no longer involved in violence, but in peace and in joy and in purpose. I have seen people that could not control their anger, now knowing such peace and joy and purpose. Their life has been totally and utterly transformed. I can tell you of people that really struggled with drugs, and now they've been set free. Now they know the joy of someone that gives them a kick, if I could say, every day of their life with no repercussions. Just joy, just peace, just purpose. Just to know him is amazing and incredible. So as I close today, I want to say to you, the Bible declares in the book of Romans chapter 1, it's in the New Testament of the Bible, that second part of the Bible, that all of this around me as I speak to you declares to you who God is. All of this amazing handiwork, these trees, this grass, these fields all around us declares the glory of God. Why don't you explore who he really is? You may not be able to see him, but I tell you this, I can assure you, I can tell you the changes he's made in people's lives. And although I might not be able to see my God, I have seen his impact in the lives of many and in the lives of people close to me and in my own life too. So thanks for watching. A goodbye from Milo and a goodbye from myself. And just know this, that when the storms of life come, you can have your life built and dug down deep into a rock whose name is Jesus, who when the storms come, you can stand and he will be with you wherever you go. So you all take care. Thanks for watching and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.